You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast.
Hi, it's Thursday. I've been told that we have to do an episode of the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. So here we are. We're going to do talking about wrestling, WrestleMania season, John Cena heel turn. Things are happening. Stuff's a-popping. Titty whoppers, pity poppers, and schmitty schmoppers. So everybody just go ahead, turn on your tits, and get ready for some faces. It's Tom, it's Beef, it's Poot, it's Ransom. Wrestle Talk, go. Sorry. I mean, the sheriff is also here. If you hear him in the background, just don't admit to any crimes.
Yee-hoo.
Some different hombre.
Can we
No.
Can we start with discussing the past 2 weeks of John Cena heel turn?
Yeah, let's talk about John Cena coming out, not looking any different, having the same old music and just cutting a promo. Oh my God, the heel turn of the century. What a disappointment.
This is a discussion that I'd like to have an overview and then get each of our takes on.
Just shit.
Yeehaw.
Ransom's just trying to get me spun up. Ransom is just trying to get me spun up because he knows how I feel about this.
I honestly believe it. I honestly believe it. Like, okay, we were all excited for the John Cena heel turn. Great. I'm still excited for it. That was amazing. I'm happy that it happened. But for 2 weeks now, what have we gotten out of the John Cena heel turn? We've gotten him coming out to the same music with the same look, just crying about people. I'm not going to change my look because this is who I am, blah, blah, blah. No, you're not changing your look because these colorful shirts that have John Cena's last time wherever he goes are a hot ticket seller. That's why it's not changing. That's why it's still the same John Cena look and it's the same John Cena music. Napa. Like, that's why it's the same. Like, it would be... This is... Can I play that? Yes, I can. This would be just like if Hulk Hogan... This would be the same as if Hulk Hogan turned heel and joined the NWO, and Hall and Nash came out wearing the NWO black and white, and Hogan still came out to Real American, or his WCW equivalent, wearing the red and yellow. Like, I'm still part of the NWO, brother, but I'm still a Hulkamania. I'm not changing who I am for the NWO. I'm red and black on the attack, and I'm not changing it who I am, even though I'm in the NWO and I'm a bad guy now. No, man, like, I was here for it at first, but like, this is just like the fucking meme. I can't remember who it is, Family Guy or Simpsons or somebody, where it's somebody poking the something. Go, come on, do something. Like, this is John Cena's heel turn. Come on, do something. And we were advertised like John Cena has got a full booking for this year. Okay, so he's come out on 2 Raws, cut some promos, looking more and more like Ernest every freaking day. This would be fine if it was someone else. But, like, this is, the heel turn since the Hulk Hogan heel turn. I expected more than what I'm getting. I expected more than just, I'm going to wear this because here's my storyline reason, but we all know it's for merch. And this is who I am and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to come out and cut shitty promos and be like, I'm John Cena. Can't see me. But I hate you all, so don't, remember that. I don't know.
So,
Yes?
I would agree with Ransom on this.
Shiza.
Partner Ransom.
Gert.
I would agree with him on this. My biggest problem is not for even the briefest of seconds over the past 2 weeks of Cena coming out and saying how big of shitbags we are and how dare we use him and blah, 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 all this stuff. Not once have we discussed about what is going on with The Rock and all this. How does The Rock fit in this? Not fucking once. There has not been any mention of The Rock. It's been the exact same promo twice.
Yes.
I will say this. I do love the fact that he came out and said, I'm going to ruin wrestling. I fucking love that shit. That was cool.
Like, how? But what are you going to do?
But like...
You've done nothing but cut some shitty promos. Like, well, no, but you're ruining it for me because it's stupid.
My umbrage with it is the fact that, okay, this is fine and this is great. We're seeing John Cena be a shitbag to everybody. Like, this is great. But how does this tie into the bigger story? What was the point of the end of the pay-per-view was them standing together over the fallen body of our WWE champion. And we are getting nothing acknowledging that. It's just John Cena being like, I was in an abusive relationship with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. Oh, you don't like that? Me, moo, moo, pee, pee, poo, poo. Yeah. Like, that part bothers me. John Cena is giving a master class on how to control a crowd. Absolutely. That he, like, even whenever they started up on the what chants, he called them out on it and they fucking stopped doing it. How great was that? Like, that's my
masterful with the crowd work.
Oh, he's amazing. Like, it is literally like, this is a master class on how to control a crowd as a heel. He is doing a great job. I'm just confused about what the manifesto is here. It basically is him going, I'm sick and tired of you people adoring me. Me, moo, moo. Like, that's pretty much it. Like,
if I may.
That's how it feels. I am interested to see where it goes. I'm not unsold on it yet. It's just a little confusing.
Unsold.
So yeah, I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater on this. I'm willing to see where it goes, but we are getting real close to a point where it's like, okay, well, how does this tie in with The Rock? How does this tie in with, you know, what was your reason other than you're sick and tired of being sick and tired? Enough is enough and it's clocked for a quarter. Like,
oh no!
You know, like,
so
I need something more here. We need something a little bit bigger to chew on.
Yeah,
is my point.
I think that I think that the whole involvement of The Rock, that will get revealed in time. I mean, it's only been a couple of weeks. Like, I would say pump the brakes on, you know, we got to find out something now. Like, we got arguably the rest of the calendar year that we can find out what was going on with The Rock and all that good stuff. I'm here for it because I feel like Cena is a heel that is making good points, because justifiably you could take everything he's been saying. He's like, you know, I've been a joke to you. I've been this and that. He's like, and all the while I did it with a smile on my face, which is true. He's been the fucking company good guy, you know, towing the line, and whether or not you booed him or cheered him, you know, he was just happy to be there and entertain you. Well, now he's sick of it. Now you're gonna fucking hear about it. And so he's making some valid points. And the thing that's really good, in my opinion, is that not only controlling the crowd the way he was, but that first promo, if he had gone on for about another minute or minute and a half, he was honestly almost turning the crowd to the point where they were done booing him, and they're kind of, as the crowd kind of, you know, going like, oh, maybe we are being, you know, big assholes to him. Maybe we have taken him for granted, or, you know, maybe you could see it on, you could kind of see it and hear it in amongst the people in the crowd. So I'm perfectly fine with what they're doing. I'm okay in this case with Cena doing the whole, you're not getting new music or this and that because you deserve nothing, because it's a different time. Back in the day with Hogan and stuff, it wouldn't have made sense if Hogan stayed red and yellow and all that. I agree with Ransom on that. However, now, since kayfabe has been, more or less like drug out to the woodshed and beaten the fucking death, and, everybody's quote unquote in on everything now, and the curtain's been pulled back so much, you can't unpull the curtain. So in some cases, you got to lean into it a little bit. And with Cena, I feel like that's exactly what he did. It's the whole, everybody expects, well, if you do a heel turn, your looks got to change, or you get new music and this and that. And he's leaning into that. He's being meta about it and going, no, you don't get it. You don't deserve it because fuck you. That's why. So I'm okay with that. And he made a good point. He's like, that's my voice on the vocal track. That's my, that's me. That is my music. The only thing I could argue that he could have done differently was use another one of his songs off the very same album. He could have used Bad Man because it's him on that as well too. But that's nitpicking at that point. I don't care. But I'm here for it. I'm happy with it so far. And the only problem I have is the fact that we know that Cena is supposed to be booked out for the rest of the calendar year, and he has all these appearances and stuff. And the only thing that kind of doesn't jive with that from his most recent promo was the fact of when he said, he's like, I'm going to ruin wrestling. And he's like, I'm going to take that title and I'm going to retire. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's like, well, that feels very CM Punky from back in the day, but we know that you have appearances. Now, I mean, you could argue the whole card subject to change thing, but like, that's the only part of all this that didn't make sense to me. So it still makes me very questionable of like whether or not they're actually going to put that title on him, or for number 17, or whether or not he actually is willing to do that, like in real life, like not, storyline wise or whatever. And maybe they don't have him turn back to a babyface before the end of his run. Maybe he goes out as a heel. Who knows? Like I'm very intrigued to see where it all goes.
In the world of real athletics, and Tom, I think that you will understand this, metaphor better than the other two. Sorry, guys. Like, how often do we see athletes get signed to 5-year deals and then get cut after 3? Or sign 2-year deals and then retire after 1? So it's absolutely feasible that Cena could say, hey, in November, say, I have 35 dates signed for next year. And then, after changing his mind, be like, you know what? I'm done. Like, we're good. Like, if I have to give WWE back some, like, kayfabe, if I have to give WWE back some money, I'm fine. I have plenty of money to give, not to smell you people anymore. See you later. Mark it down, ladies and gentlemen. Pull up your fucking smart what have yous and take a note. Beef the Legend agrees with Tiger Bomb Tom here. I think that you two are absolutely armchair quarterbacking this. I think that you want the results now, and I think we gotta let them cook. I think that that's just how it's going to be. I don't think, at the end of the day, I don't know that we get a resolution at WrestleMania, even. Because I think that this is meant to be a bit of a long cooker. I think that this is meant to be, something of an end game, if you will. No pun intended, of course, with Cena's, career ending. Like, I think that this is supposed to be a big overarching thing that happens with John Cena this year, and that it's not all going to make sense all at once. If you were expecting to see The Rock overseas, you were crazy. I didn't expect to see him, period. I don't expect to see him until WrestleMania, if I'm being honest.
Agreed.
And I don't think we should, because I think that that's how, the shadowy hand works best, when you don't see what it's doing.
No.
That being said, Poot's Poot's point on this reminded me a lot of my feelings on The Rise of Skywalker. Nope. What was the one before that? Middle of the new trilogy.
Oh, I don't remember. There was Force Awakens?
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, yes. That reminded me a lot of my feeling of The Last Jedi, where I came out and I was like, it was okay. It made me happy at parts. It made me sad at parts. I definitely had some tears. I laughed. There were definitely a lot of good story elements. I think the acting was really good, but it was And I put that on Facebook, and someone called me out. They're like, all right, so wait. So this movie made you feel all of these great feelings, but you think it was not good? What else were you expecting the movie to do for you? And I sat and I looked and I'm like, fuck, that's a great point. Like, they hold on. They can't all be fucking gems. They can't all be, fucking Infinity War and Endgame. Like, that's just not gonna happen, and that's not a feasible way to live life or expect things to be lived. But that being said, I think whenever you can say, well, they were the same promos except for this and except for this and except for this, and he did this well and he did this well. Like, no, I think the last 2 weeks John Cena has cooked on the mic. I think that these two promos are two of the besties that he's had in probably the last decade. Is there a samey undertone? Yeah, absolutely. But I think that this is more about him. No, you know what? It's more about us. He's coming at it, and I think the WWE is attacking it from the right angle of a jilted lover. It's not you, or it's not me, it's you. I'm not going to change myself because you're the toxic one. I am free of you, so I'm going to still be me. And I think that angle works for him because I was reminiscing a little bit with Ransom. Like, if you look how he was treated, not by the fans, but by booking, probably the last 4 or 5 years. Not great. Not great. The business with Sola, Austin Theory, fucking The Undertaker match at WrestleMania 34. Like, none of these were banner accomplishments for John Cena. And, as arguably the greatest of all time, that's pretty hard times. So, like, I think that this sour grapes, I think is a good way to put it, that we're getting from him feels legit, feels on point, because it feels real. After he put in all his time into the company, after he carried the company on his back for more than a decade, to have it, have the bookers turn their back on him, have the people turn their back.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And again, like, if yes, am I wanting to see John Cena come out in a suit and tie to, like, a Travis Scott track? Like, yeah, I think that'd be banging. I think that'd be a great way to do it. And I think that we'll probably get there at some point. I just think that it's not yet. It's not now, because I think that right now Cena is still in his, like, it's not you, or it's not me, it's you phase. I think as the story develops, we may see an organic evolving of this. And as Ransom, pointed out, it is somewhat monetary for sure. They have these unique situations because they took a big risk on doing this his last year, which nobody saw coming, which I think is why it works so well. But also, Like, this is it. Like, I don't think that John Cena is going to pull a Ric Flair here and come back 2 years later to fight Hulk Hogan in some, like, weird fucking match on TNA that no one's going to remember. I think that John Cena is one of those guys that when it's done, it's fucking done. So, like, you know, to be doing this, you know, a guy who absolutely, again, I'll say it, I think is the greatest of all time. At the very least, carried the company through a very dark period, able to maintain its popularity, becoming a household name with them, becoming one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood, and becoming like a household name. Like, everybody knows John Cena now. So, like, I think that he, you know, to take all of that and go, you know what? Let's make me a bad guy for a month, for 2 months, for 4 months, for 5 months, whatever. I think that was a big risk, and I think that I'm fine with it. You know, eventually maybe we get cool heel John Cena. That's a possibility. But right now, I want this John Cena. I want the John Cena who carried his towel behind his head like he carried the fucking title behind his head.
Thank you for bringing that up.
At ECW One Night Stand.
Yep.
Like, if you're paying attention, what John Cena is doing is amazing. And yeah, Poot nailed it. Right now it's a master class. This dude is taking every insult that we jilted at him the last 2 decades and went, no, fuck you. I know how to do my job. Now you're gonna see it.
Well, and that's kind of my point. Don't get me wrong. I understand you're equating that to the last Jedi, but like I don't hate what's going on. It's just looking at, like, zooming out and looking at the bigger picture. If they would not have had John Cena stand with The Rock the way he did and kind of make this declaration that this was collusion and this was planned, and this was, even if it was a contingency that The Rock put in place, that's like if Cody said, you know, go fuck yourself. My point is that I want to know why. I think we should have at least gotten a basic manifesto, like, for it to make sense. That being said,
as far as why he's with The Rock,
yeah, why he did, and we don't need a Rikishi, I did it for The Rock. Like, we don't need that.
Yeah, like fucking Naomi did with Bianca. Ugh.
I agree.
Let me,
you know,
let me just put a button on this real quick. Partner.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse when you talk about it.
Well, so my point is that, like, that aside, what John Cena is doing is awesome. It's great. And I think the only way that we get that version of John Cena that you talked about coming out to a Travis Scott track and wearing a suit or, you know, whatever, I think the only way we get that is if he does win the title.
See, I bet you saving it for Mania. I bet you Mania we get new gear. I bet you we get the Travis Scott song. I think it's the whole deal. I could be wrong, but I feel like he's, like, waiting to, like, you know, unleash it on us then, because that's when it's gonna make the most sense. Now,
I was hoping we were gonna get a Ciampa moment where he came out to nothing.
Oh, that'd been great, man. That would have been sometimes there are some heels absolutely that will make that work. He was one. Don Callis, the fucking, like, brown note is a fucking was a master stroke, but, like, they knew when to pull it, and that was a good. But yeah, absolutely. The Roman Reigns thing at the night after he beat the Undertaker and just stood in the ring for, like, what, 10 minutes,
5-10 minutes,
not saying a word, and everybody chanting, fuck you, Roman.
Took everything of that.
They
he just stood there and said, "It's my ring," or "It's my yard now," and then walked away. Like, that was, yeah. I I think that there's some of that in this. I just think we need to get there.
Like I said, I understand where Poot's coming from with the whole Rock angle, but I think we'll get there eventually. Like,
yes.
It's just I'm okay that we didn't get that right now, because again, that is very much playing right into the very points that Cena's making. It's like, oh, you want this? You expect this? No, fuck you. This is my time. It's been my time, and I'm doing this the way I want to do it. You know, it's not about what you want. It's about what I want for myself. Like, I've given you everything for what you guys have wanted, but you've never been happy. You couldn't decide whether to cheer me, to boo me, or do both. So fuck you. And the whole like, well, why, John? Why? You need to tell us why. No, I don't. I'll do what the fuck I want. And he's playing it perfectly right now. We'll get the Rock explanation. We'll get that. That'll come to pass. But you know, I wasn't fully expecting all of that. It's, you know, the whole why with the Rock and everything like that right off the bat anyways. And I definitely, like Beef, I was definitely not expecting to see the Rock before Mania. So
I'll be interested to see once they're back in the States how often we see Cena. Because I'll be honest, first of all, I dig Raw at 4 p.m. Like, can we just make this a thing now? Like,
God,
where I get to, like, you know, come home and just put it on after dinner or, like, during dinner and have the rest of my evening free? Because that's wonderful. But, like, I understand that, like, you know, they're in the midst of a European tour, which is great for television. And obviously they're having Cena there now. But, like, after they're done, I think next week is the final Raw abroad. I wonder how often we're going to see him on the road to WrestleMania. Now, that being said, after next week, there are only 2 more Raws between then and now. So I would imagine, if I were a gambler, I'd say he's probably going to miss the Raw following next week. So April 7th, I think he'll miss. And then he'll probably be back for the 14th. But that being said, I understand the sentiment. And I agree. I think that they need to do something different next week. They can't just keep saying, John Cena and Cody Rhodes face to face. John Cena and Cody Rhodes under one roof. Like, no. They have to do something different next week to make it matter, to make it important, to make it big. Because I think they're not going to coast on names on this one. And again, like, I understand it's not just coasting on names. That, like, this heel turn was a big deal, and it is absolutely a huge fucking deal. But I think that they need to inject something, because right now, not to pivot, but to pivot a little bit, like, I feel like right now, Mania does not have a lot of steam. I think that things are kind of weird with a lot of the matches right now, and I think that they need to kind of, like, rein it in order to, you know, get some momentum going. Like, for example, the Uso Gunther thing. I don't think that that's going particularly well. I understand what they're doing with the whole Jay top dollar moment. I don't think that that's something that they should be leaning into. And then, like, having him, like, fake missing the spear, like, that was kind of dumb this week. I don't know. Sometimes it's okay to let the Yeet Man just be the Yeet Man, you know? Like, let him come out, let him yeet through the crowd, let the crowd eat him up, you know, give him a couple promo times and put him in the ring. I don't think we need to see him and Gunther, like, you know, face-to-face like we need Cody and Cena. In fact, I think that that's probably more detrimental to the angle than anything else.
So I was actually going to bring this up once we started touching on this. there's a lot of like out of nowhere. It seemed very quick, or maybe I'm just not tuned into the internet wrestling community as a whole as much. How do you guys feel about like the criticism that Jey Uso is facing just because he is, as Beef said, the Yeet Man? It's like there's a lot of people that are kind of on their kick of saying that Jey Uso is only in his position because he got a catchphrase over.
I mean, say his name and he will appear, right?
Yes.
Like, isn't that the same fucking argument of Joe Hendry?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, and that's why there's a weird wrestling like kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Double standard.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody hates wrestling like wrestling fans.
Dude,
oh my god, yeah.
It's because people have such a fucking short attention span that it's got fucking goldfish brains when it comes to how long you can hold their attention. I don't know. It's again this not to pivot back, but this plays exactly right into all the shit that Cena's talking about in his heel work. He's like, you guys are never fucking happy. You don't know what you want. He's not wrong. I feel like with Jay, it's one of those things like if they pulled the trigger sooner, like it would have been better, but they waited to have him win the Rumble, which again, great for him. But I don't know. I don't know. This is assuming that he's gonna win at Mania, because if they built him up this far, I don't see why they wouldn't have him win. But at the same time, like, there's a small part of me that goes like, well, what if they don't have him win? Either way, afterwards,
fucking silly.
Either way, afterwards, it's kind of a matter of like, well, what's next? What's next if he loses? What's next if he wins? Because
good.
Because, like you said, having him and Gunther face to face is not helping the angle out that much more.
No.
For some people, it is. For a little bit with Cena and Cody face to face is great. That's fine. I'm okay with that. The way they've been, I do agree that they need to do something a little different here in the next week, so you're not just getting coasting through into Mania. That's fine. The whole face to face stuff with between Io and Rhea and Bianca, that has been great. And not even so much for any of the things.
Let's put a pin in that. Let's stick with Jay and Gunther for now, because I'm definitely going to circle back to around to the women's mess.
Well, what I'm saying is like, for some of the people, it works better that way. In their cases, it does. In Jay's and Gunther's, it doesn't. And I don't know, like, I don't even know if Jay and Gunther is a match that you would have like main event night one, because arguably you could have the triple threat with Punk and Roman and Seth main event night one. You could have the women's title match main event night one. I don't know. Either one of the women's title matches, because, I mean, fuck, if you have Charlotte Flair on the card, they're going to want to try to throw her in a main event spot. So, like, it's, I don't know. It's sad to say, like, I don't want to sound like a fickle wrestling fan. Like, I'm here for Jay's push, but we need, I don't want him to rely completely on the whole fucking yeet catchphrase. Like,
I don't think he needs to. I think he's good in the ring. I think that they're really not booking this well, and that's only making the fans that are out here being like, oh, it's all nepotism. It's because he's The Rock's cousin. No, man. Like, this has been a long time coming. Remember 2 years ago whenever fucking Roman had the Ulafala and he's like, no, man, I'm not going to be the tribal chief. You are. You are main event Jey Uso. You're not there yet, but you will be. Like, he was in the position to basically be the next Roman. And I think that, with him getting this whole Yeet thing over, I think that was a blessing in disguise for him because it really kind of cooked his character to the next level. Now, how to book him, I don't know. Because as is my want, I do a yearly WrestleMania push every single year. And like, it's interesting to watch like the recap videos and see how they handled, the people. And like, if you think about it, basically from the golden age until fucking even recently, they don't really let the challenger and the champion get too physical. Now, as of late, a lot of Rumble winners have been guys who have been there before. So, like, it's they do tag matches or whatever because, they're main event guys. It's been a while since we've had a Jey Uso style winner, a guy who's not there yet, but is like going to be. So, it's been a while since they've had to have that booking, and I don't think that they're doing it the service that needs to be done. I think that this whole silliness with Theory and Grayson Waller is not helping anybody. My stock on those two is way down. I don't think that either one of them has been good for probably 2 years. The best stuff has been in NXT, and that's a problem. So the fact that they're in this for whatever reason is beyond me. And I know that people are going to be upset that Joe Hendry wasn't Jey Uso's tag partner in Scotland, but like, I get it. Yeah, Joe Hendry's hot, and yeah, it would have been awesome, but it also would have overshadowed the dude who won the Royal Rumble. And it's probably going to beat Gunther at WrestleMania. Again, I don't have the answers. I just know that, like, having Jey and Gunther get into, like, physical confrontations is not working. Having Gunther take out Jimmy next week is not going to help anybody. I just think that we need to have less, and this is going to sound real fucking weird, less in-ring work from Jey. Give me more promos. Give me more yeets. Give me more, give me time to get that crowd solidly behind him again like they were prior to the Royal Rumble, because I think that the last few weeks have really kind of hurt his in-ring credibility to the point where it's really kind of slowed the pace. Ransom, where are you at with the world title match?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be like match of the night. I just hope that Jey wins. Because like Jey and Jimmy have been in the WWE for God Almighty so freaking long, and
yeah, man.
They've really done pretty much everything you can do as a tag team, and I think Jey has really worked hard. I think his promo skills have improved. I think he's very solid in the ring. Like, I have no complaints over him. I really don't. And I think I will enjoy that feel-good moment of him winning the world title. Like, you get to win a big boy title. You were part of a tag team for so long. You were seen as a tag team. You were the Usos. It's bad enough that you're brothers, but you're twins, and you're both in wrestling. So, hey, they're going to be a tag team. And bless you.
Thank you.
Bless
And,
you.
I'm sure at one point, either one or both of them thought, like, well, this is probably peak for us because, they're not going to give us a shot to be on our own. And they did, and it's working out for Jay. I hope it works out for Jimmy the same way. I think they both deserve singles titles to be able to have under their belts because I think, honestly, they deserve them. They're good on the mic. They're good in the ring. They're entertaining. They've worked hard for WWE. It's very easy for them to get the fans to do what they want. When they were face painting Usos, like the fans cheered them. They loved like the Usos coming out, doing the dance at the beginning, and they screamed Uso with them. So the fans loved that. The fans reacted very much how the Usos wanted them to react whenever they turned heel. That they turned heel and got the exact crowd reaction that they wanted. The crowd booed the crap out of them and they hated them, but they got the right reaction. So they've always been very good at manipulating the crowd, which is a good thing. So I hope he wins. I don't expect it to be a banger, but at the end of the match, if Jay wins and wins the world title, it'll be a successful match for me. I'll be happy with it. It's not so much the actual what transpires in the ring for me. It's the payoff, and if the payoff is Jey Uso winning, it's all been a win for me because I think that moment will be all that I need out of this match and this feud.
That's actually a really good point. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how the build-up goes, if we get that point of Jay fucking yeeting in front of 50, 60,000 or whatever with the world title, it's gonna be huge. Honestly, if I'm Booker, man, Shucky Ducky, I think that they should lead with that at WrestleMania. I think that WrestleMania Night 1 Saturday night should open with the world title match, and I know that I'm bucking tradition, that the Royal Rumble winner should main event WrestleMania. I get it. I understand. This is...
But when you're going to get that type of a crowd reaction, how do you not, though?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think that it's a hot start, just like last year, where they started with the Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre thing, or Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and then had Priest cash in. Was that night? I think that was night 2, though, right?
That was night 2.
Okay.
No, I thought
so.
That was night 2.
No, I thought that was.
Was it?
No, I thought it was night 1 because Seth was visibly hurt, so we didn't know.
Oh yeah, you right. Yep.
Or wait.
So
No,
Fuck.
you might be right. Wait, fuck.
No, I have to go back and look.
Yeah.
No,
night 1. Yeah.
Seth wrestled with Cody in night 1.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. Okay, sorry,
Yep.
I had my shit backwards there for a second.
But
Speaking of Goldfish,
the other
Lane.
thing they say is if you're not going on last, you want to go on first.
Yep.
Right, exactly. And I mean, honestly, no disrespect to Gunther or Jay. I think that they're both going to have their moment in the sun for many years to come. But when you have, the hottest face WWE has had in a while in Cody, the biggest heel turn, one of, I think, the 2 biggest heel turns of all time in John Cena. And then, 3 dudes with the fucking riz of Rollins, Reigns, and Punk. None of those guys are faces. None of those guys are heels. They're just gonna fucking let them fight. And the fans are gonna be like, hey, this fucking bumps. Let's go. Those 2 matches are probably, I think, the presumptive main event matches for WrestleMania, night 1, night 2. Unless they cook something up in the next few weeks here involving, The Rock or some shit. I think that those 2 are going to be your matches. And again, no disrespect to Gunther or Jay, but, those 5 dudes are, generational talents. So if you got to take a backseat at one WrestleMania to those guys, we know that Cena's not going to be around next year. You know, the timetable on Roman is iffy. The timetable on Punk is iffy. You know, Rollins is a fucking enigma sometimes. So, like, bide your time. You know, open WrestleMania. I'm reminded of Shawn Michaels Tatanka at WrestleMania 9. I won't speak too ill of it because I know a lot of people don't like that pay-per-view, but I think that was a solid. I think that was a great match. It was a great opener and really showcased both those guys and handled the situation perfectly. So, like, yeah, absolutely. Like, if you can go on first and just fucking light the crowd on fire, hell yeah, let's go.
I wonder where, getting back to the women's matches, I'm kind of wondering where they'll have those placed at.
Mess.
Well, so I will say the one thing that I really enjoyed about the whole stuff with the women's world title with Io, it wasn't anything that any one of the three of them did. The last 2 weeks, it's been Adam Pearce. Watching his reactions in the background when Rhea's music hit on the first one, he goes, "God damn it!" And then like just everything that Pierce has been doing, coming a little unhinged by the end of the second week. He's like, "Well, if you guys would have let me finish, I would have said I had a plan." And like just.
Somebody said to him in a backstage vignette on Monday, you know, "Oh, take your blood pressure medication." He's like, "I'm trying. If you give me a chance."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm living for this Adam Pearce. This is
love it.
Great, for sure.
There's also like hate for Rhea Ripley for like showing up when she doesn't need to. Now that's real edgelord shit.
That's bullshit. She's one of the two biggest stars they have in the three biggest stars they have in the company right now with Cody and Roman Reigns. She's not gonna fucking miss WrestleMania, and that's
1,000%.
That's where this whole fucking thing has jumped the shark. Like, I never for a minute have believed that Rhea Ripley's gonna not be in main event or not in WrestleMania.
So
because again, she's one of the, she and I've said it many times, but she is like one of a few superstars in the company.
So now the question begs is how are they gonna get themselves into getting this back to, you know, making it a 3-way, because you thought they were gonna do it with.
It's been so bad.
The whole contract signing thing or whatever, like
it's so overbooked. Like if they would have just let that contract signing be it.
Yeah.
Where Rhea also signed the contract, and Adam Pearce is like, "Well, all the names are in the contract. What can you do?" That should have been it. And even at that point, I was like, "Man, this has become a hot mess." But now, like, we're in like fucking Play-Doh territory, man. Like, I don't.
Because like,
and here's the rub. They're all great competitors. Io is phenomenal. Bianca's phenomenal. Rhea, again, I don't have enough platitudes to say about her. Like, they're overbooking the hell out of this for no reason at all. You could have come out the night after Elimination Chamber and said, hey, by the way, we're adding Io Sky into this match too. And everyone would have been like, oh, okay, that's fine. Let's go.
Well, I don't know about that much, but the whole point being they could have just done it. They didn't even have to have the whole contract signing thing. They could have done Rhea wants her rematch clause and she's enforcing it at Mania. Like, they could have left it at that too and made it a triple threat that way. I don't understand. Everything's gonna have to, you know, depending on what happens here on Raw, between Rhea and Io. If they have Rhea go over and win that title back, it's going to leave a real sour taste in my mouth. As much as, you know, I love Mommy being on top, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't matter how much I like a particular wrestler or not. I want the shit to make sense. So, as much as I enjoy all three competitors, like Beef said, they're all great all three great women's wrestlers. Make the shit make sense for me. And right now, it doesn't. Like, obviously we know Bianca is gonna, you know, have her match because she earned it. She earned that, you know, from the Elimination Chamber. Great. So why did we need to convolute it with a title change this soon before Mania, and then now potentially force feeding a triple threat match. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
I actually didn't hate the title change. I thought that, like, coming off of the John Cena heel turn, them doing that sudden title change, I was like, okay, all right, like, let's rev it into high gear. I was fine with it. I just, like, I think everything since then has been horribly overbooked. I just, like, you know, I'm a guy who buys AEW pay-per-views because I'm like, man, this match is gonna fucking cook. I could give a fuck about the story leading into it. Like, give me fucking 25, 30 minutes of amazing wrestling. You know, here, you know, shut up and take my money. I'm in the same boat here. Like, you know, and I understand, like, from the casual fan, like, you can't just go, okay, Io's in this match, let's go. But, like, I don't think that you needed to fucking...
Ransom can do that.
Well, yeah, but, you know, just because she's so pretty. You know, I just feel like they fucked this 8 ways from Sunday.
They're fucking on us.
We give a lot of, like, great, you know, words to Triple H, and I'll say this: he did a great job booking the women's division in NXT. What happened? Like, between this and the fucking shit show that Charlotte is going on about on fucking SmackDown and burying Tiffy, like, allegedly being fed her line so that she could fucking just bury her. Oh my God. I swear to God, I saw Stephanie McMahon come out of Charlotte Flair's mouth at one point. Like, I just don't understand how we've gotten from the NXT women's division that we had to this. And I'm not trying to say that they're bad wrestlers. No, they're all great wrestlers. I'll even give Charlotte her due. I think that her and Tiffy is going to be a phenomenal match. But, like, the way that they're handling these angles on TV, woof. You know? Fucking figure it out. These ladies are... And, I mean, that's not even talking about the Naomi and Jade thing. Like, woof. Figure it out. You know, you have these top-notch women who are incredible wrestlers. You don't need to, like, overbook this shit. Just fucking make it make sense, like Tom said. Poot, you got some talks about the women's here?
I just kind of... I mean, you kind of covered it. You and Tom kind of covered it. To be perfectly honest with you, I hate to cop out on that, but that's kind of... It's felt very messy.
Did you guys see the Charlotte Tiffany promo from last week on SmackDown?
No,
I did not, but I heard about it, and the problem I have in general is well, hold on. The problem I have in general, from what I've heard, is that it seems like that they are throwing Tiffany into the deep waters. It's not a question of whether or not she could physically hang with Charlotte. That's fine, but promo wise, like, they're not doing her any favors, and it's one of those things where if for some reason they have Charlotte win and beat Tiffany at Mania, for as much as that she's buried Tiffany, then it's like, okay, well, fantastic, great, like, you beat a nobody then, or whatever, because you perceived her to be a nobody. Like, it doesn't matter that you won then. It also didn't make sense with Charlotte saying that, like, you know, Tiffany doesn't belong, you know, I'm paraphrasing this, she doesn't belong, like, in the same ring with her and this and that, and they're not on the same level. Well, you chose her as your WrestleMania opponent. Like, again, make it make sense.
I mean, the only way that I could see that being the case is that Charlotte sees facing Tiffany as a softball and she's being a shitbag heel and just wants an easy win. But that's not Tiffany Stratton. Like, Tiffany Stratton is phenomenal. Like,
I've been trying to give him space with this whole Charlotte thing. I've said it a million times that I don't think, I think that she's a good hand, but like if her last name wasn't Flair, and she wasn't the daughter of the man who's probably going to induct Triple H into the Hall of Fame, like
Gross.
I don't think that she'd be where she is. And I mean, like, what? So at this point, even from a logical fan's perspective, what does she have to offer but putting over a new talent? Look at what Becky did before she was out. She made sure that Rhea was over. Look at what Trish did before she was gone. She made sure that she was helping out Zoe and Becky. Look at what Bayley's been doing the last few years. Like, all of these four horsewomen, with the exception of one who shall remain nameless, have been out here, well, I guess for the two, like, making sure that, like, the next generation is ready to go. And by no means are we admitting that, like, Becky, Charlotte, Bayley, Mercedes are done. Not at all. But, like, they also know that, like, there are people that are younger, faster, and at this point probably a little bit more talented than them on the roster right now, so that they need to make sure you can't be selfish in this business, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I've never felt anything but selfishness from Charlotte Flair. And I'll cross the aisle and say the same thing about Mercedes. I've never gotten a lot of, like, give and take from her. It's very much, with the exception of her putting over Bianca at WrestleMania. And I think that, Charlotte had the same kind of, like, Rhea Ripley moment at WrestleMania 39, where she put over Ripley. So, like, yes, absolutely those two have had some impact. But, like, if you look at what Bayley's been doing and what Becky Lynch has been doing the last few years, like, it's not even comparable who's trying to put over the product and who's trying to put over themselves.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Stop it. Ransom, do you have any thoughts on the women here? This is, I don't know, man. Like, again, I'm in a situation where I'm like, you know what? I think that the batches are going to be bangers, but I think that, and here's, you know what? I asked Ransom a question. I'm gonna let him get a thought in. What are your thoughts on the women's matches at WrestleMania, Ransom?
I don't have a problem with the Rhea match. I mean, again, I don't really care. Like, add somebody to the match, don't add somebody to the match. It's not the first time. It's not the last time. Like, they've pulled this kind of bullshit stuff before where it's like, well, we don't know what to do with this person. Triple threat. So that's par for the course. I mean, it doesn't make sense storyline-wise, but whatever. If it's a good match, it's a good match. I don't have any hopes for the Charlotte match. I think it's going to be awful. The only thing I can hope for is that she gets hurt. And then she has to go away for another 4.5 years and come back looking like a John Deere tractor. Like, she's pretty much going to look not human anymore if she gets any more plastic surgery.
Autobots, roll out.
She looked like the fucking Surgeon General of Beverly Hills from Escape from L.A. And again, and like Beef said, Charlotte Flair wouldn't be in this position if her last name was Johnson, Jones, Beaver, Bandersnatch. Like, she's a Flair. She's Ric Flair's daughter. That's why she is where she is. She would probably still be wrestling, but on top, in title matches, having as many titles as she's had, no. No. That's based on last name. That's not based on merit. She's the worst. End of speech.
I feel like, and this is, I'm going to U-turn a little bit and double back. I feel like they're really overbooking Jay and Gunther and like the women's triple threat match, whereas they could be spending time, I don't know, booking up the IC title match, booking up the tag team title matches, booking up, various other matches that they're going to have on the card that have not yet been announced. We have 6 matches for a 2-night card. We know that that's probably going to double in size, if not, grow more than that. So, I just think
A bunch of video packages incoming.
No.
Stop skipping me.
I just think that we're going to get more matches than obviously these 6. I think that they don't need to put any more effort into booking Jay and Gunther. Have them visible on Raw. Cool. Done. I don't think they need to put any more effort into booking Seth and Punk and Roman. Have them come out, have some mic time, done. John and Cody, I think they probably need to go another couple of rounds. But actually, like Barb, like what we've seen with John and Cody so far has been very one-sided. One guy speaks, the other speaks. End of segment. I think that John Cena does the best whenever he's going back and forth with somebody. And I want to see that. I think that that's what they need to do on Monday. I don't think that there's anything that they can do to fix this Charlotte-Tiffy mess. Charlotte's buried Tiffy. I think that all we can hope for at this point is that Tiffy puts on a great match with Charlotte at WrestleMania, and we can at least say, well, at least she put on a good match. But, we need to figure out what's going on with the Intercontinental title. I mean, it's very clearly going to be something involving Braun and Penta and Balor and Dom. Did we get Ludwig in there? Did we get Sheamus in there? What about the United States title? What are we doing with Jacob Fatu? What are we doing with Solo Sikoa? Where's Big Bronson Reed at? LA Knight? He's a champion again? I forgot all about him.
I was just about to ask who the U.S. champ was. I almost forgot that it was LA Knight.
Is he the champion?
How about the fucking Speed? How about the fucking tag titles? Who's the Raw tag team champions? Anybody?
The Viking Raiders.
Well, I knew that because there was a package on them on Monday. I haven't seen them with their belts in a while. How about the SmackDown tag team champs? Is it the Motor City Machine Guns? Nope. Is it DIY? No. Oh, wait. The Street Profits won it 2 weeks ago. Just let's take a breath. Not just me. And let's put some time and effort into booking some of the other WrestleMania matches. I think that we're going to get some big fuck all like SmackDown tag team title match at WrestleMania with Pretty Deadly and DIY and Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits, and I think that that's going to be fun. And again, that's one that I don't think you need to put a lot of time into. But the U.S. title, I don't know if it's going to be excluded again because they have not been doing anything with it other than putting it back on LA Knight for whatever reason and ignoring guys like Jacob Fatu. Why?
Put some stank on it.
Maybe we'll get a ladder match for one of those mid-card titles. Maybe.
I think so.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think I am absolutely advocating Money in the Bank return to WrestleMania. I think that I think there's, now that we have 2 nights, there's room for Money in the Bank and to have one or both of the mid-card titles defended. I know it's very trendy to put both of your mid-card champions in Money in the Bank, but let's not just squash all those eggs. Also, weirdly enough, I would love to see them put the fucking Andre the Giant Battle Royal back on WrestleMania.
Has it?
Not on the fucking Friday before.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was about to ask if they had taken it off of Mania, like if it was on a pre-show or something.
Don't you do it. Oh.
They did it last year on the Friday.
Tell Luna to calm down there, Ransom.
Fucking Dusty is the problem.
They did it last year on the Friday, and then they did it the year prior. Because I remember at WrestleMania 39, as opposed to doing anything with Bobby Lashley, they just came out. They just had him came out with that big dumb trophy. Oh, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, great. You could have taken this time to actually have the fucking Battle Royal on the fucking show, rather than just have him come out and wave the trophy for 5 minutes. Or wait, just take away Shane McMahon's break leg time and fucking do it. The Andre, I think, was a lot of fun when the right guy won. You know, whenever fucking Cesaro won, whenever Corbin out of nowhere, a dude out of NXT won, I think was a great moment. Mm-hmm. I think that the Andre should be there, not just for the guys to get them paychecks, but also like I think that it's a great like namesake thing to have happen. And yes, I absolutely think that Money in the Bank should return to WrestleMania, without a doubt. But the problem is there's money to be made. You know, why give away the cow when why give away the milk when you can get the cow for free or whatever? Like, I butchered that.
Why give away the cow when you can pay for the milk? Oh, hold on.
The bottom line is...
So many chicken eggs.
Why milk the money when you can have the cream? I don't know.
Why speak like a Pennsylvanian when you can talk like a Texan?
I am just making the point that, like, as long as the WWE feels like they can get a PLC,
PLEDBP.
Penises, ladders, and chairs, oh my.
Out of Money in the Bank, I think that they're going to do that. And it's all Rusev's fault. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt before WrestleMania 30? I think WrestleMania 30? Or 32, I think. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt before WrestleMania 32, then we would have had him back at WrestleMania at that point.
WrestleMania
Blame Rusev.
You're lame.
But, like, you realize that we're 3 weeks from WrestleMania at this point? And like, I feel like we're just... There's...
Just beating off.
Yeah.
It's part of our PLC match.
Yeah, we're just beating off. But, I mean, like, I feel like they're, like, just spending way too much time on the top of the card. And that's a weird thing to say. But, like, I feel like they're spending way too much time on matches that don't need the spotlight. That, like... we know are going to be awesome. Like, give us some love for the undercard. Let's figure all that out. And again, you know, there's 3 weeks, so maybe we still got some time. But by God, figure it out.
And my Lord, it's a Texas-sized toast.
That's the best kind of toast,
Get
partner.
Some of them toasties.
Off the reservation.
Hey.
I think what it is, Poot, is that you remind him of that fucking cop from Live PD. Nope, the other one. On Patrol Live.
On Patrol Live. It's the fucking chief.
Yeah, the fucking chief. That's you with your Poot gravelly voice. That's that.
With my gravelly sheriffy tones.
Fucking Chief Bradley.
Turn in your gun and bad.
Shucky ducky, quackity quackity.
Ducky.
That's
don't need to challenge you. Don't fucking play your card, bitch.
What oh fuck, there was something else I wanted to mention that was not WrestleMania related, and I forget what it was. Damn it.
Chicken nugget.
Was it AEW related?
No. It was fucking Rusev. Did you guys, because I said his name and it reminded me. You guys see that, like, him and Lana apparently never actually were estranged? And it was all just like a fucking like work by Tony Khan that he was gonna like reunite them on television. It just never came to fruition. No. So they had to like pretend to be divorced for like 3 years. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
Wow.
They like like there was a story about them rekindling, and then they're like, yeah, no, this is like we've never actually, because I remember whenever they split up, I'm like, oh, that's too bad. They seemed like a really good couple. And then, like, they
were just rocking that kayfabe.
Exactly. I'm like, this is fucking stupid, and I hate it. Damn you, Tony.
They're like, how can we spice things up in the bedroom? Let's pretend to be estranged, and then go home and then just fuck.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's worst idea for fucking Miro since making him the arcade master. Damn it. Fucking pinball wizard
Yes.
hero.
Oh my god, yes.
We do have picks for
Picks.
that AEW show next week.
What? Oh, we
No.
do?
Heads up.
Since when?
Yeah, man.
I didn't know this was
Yeah,
a
Dynasty.
Pixisode.
No, not tonight.
Oh,
not
Jesus
tonight.
God.
No.
Okay.
Next week. Damn you.
Everybody calm down.
I can't calm
Oh,
down. You
no.
calm down.
We have picks for Dynasty next week.
Dynasty.
And then
extreme.
the week of WrestleMania, we'll have Stand and Deliver and 2 nights of WrestleMania to pick. So we have
It's
plenty of time
My God.
to fix things.
AEW dental plan.
Lisa needs braces.
Thank you. I was waiting for it. Thank you.
But yeah, I may as well do the standings while we're here.
Garbage.
you know,
That's what they are.
As a birthday present to the mid-card maniac, happy belated, I'll do the standings because I know he's been bugging me about them. Pat, you're in the lead.
Dick.
You have 106.
Partner.
What a
It pains
cunt.
it pains me to say that.
Burns me to say this. Part.
However,
I've been burned.
it
I've
makes me
been burned one
really
too many times.
it makes me really happy to announce that the tag team of Beef the Legend and Ransom have 104 points.
Yes! Suck it, Dave!
So watch out for the Orgity Gorgity boys. We're coming.
I'm coming for you.
Dave and Tom follow us very closely at 102.
Legend.
Fuck them.
Ugh.
Amber's at 100. So it's literally, pretty much anybody's race at this point. Even Poot scooting in there with 94.
Poot scoot.
You're a little out, but you're not like super far out.
Listen, man, I got fucked up on that last one. I
Yeah,
didn't
you got
even
hosed.
go real super crazy poot on that.
No,
Give him the clothesline from hell.
you got hosed a little. I mean, you did pick the Outrunners, to be fair.
Yeah, I
so,
know. That was the one where I was but I didn't think I spent a lot of points on that one.
No, you put 1 point. You put 1 point. But yeah, I mean, you're right there at 94, and then Scooby's at 65.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Ow. Sorry,
Yeah,
Scoop. But
well-
ow.
Well, because he picked a really good AEW whatever it was last show, the Revolution. He had 42 points, which is like, I mean, Pooh had 43 and Dave had 45. So like he was right there with everybody. He had a really good Revolution. With the exception of putting 10 points on MJF, which I think we all made that mistake of picking it. I mean, literally everybody picked MJF,
Yeah.
but we all didn't go quite that hard.
No.
But otherwise, yeah, I mean, he's all way off. So I don't think Scoob's gonna win the title this quarter. Sorry, buddy. Sorry to announce it this way, my friend. I think you're officially eliminated from playoff contention. But like I said, the good news is like we're all Poot's literally the next one behind, and he's only 12 points out, which is, really just 2 bad picks. So it's anybody's game. So yeah, we got like I said, Dynasty next week,
Oh, you bitch.
and then the week of WrestleMania we have
Is it pudding this time?
we have Stand In to Deliver and 2 nights of WrestleMania. So still plenty of time to be had there.
Fuck her.
Get ready for a
I
4.5 hour podcast next week, folks.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm out next week.
I don't think that Dynasty is going to be a bad show. I think I might actually lose some standings on Dynasty because my head and my heart are competing for who should win and who's
For
going to
your
win.
dick.
I think that I absolutely think that Swerve should win, and I absolutely think that Megan Bain should win. I don't know that any of those two things are actually going to happen, but they absolutely should.
She's as big
So
as Megatron.
here's the fucked up part. Next Thursday is the first night of Clearfield show, so I am gonna be out.
Well, you'll have to text in those picks, cowboy.
Text him in,
Woo.
dickhead.
Mailman Pony
And
Express.
as we all know, I do so damn well on AEW stuff.
Yeah. I mean, except for last time. But yeah.
No, I'm being wildly sarcastic.
Oh, I see.
Can't tell because of my southern drawl.
He doesn't have a southern ransom. You just like.
Adding
Whew.
Ransom's
I'm
You're
overbooking
just
this.
not listening hard enough.
Ransom, you're being a little unhinged, partner.
See, I heard him.
I heard him.
Ain't nothing here changed.
I want to say I love what they're doing with Megan Bain, but if it just leads to her losing to Tony Storm, I don't think it did her any services. Nope, Megan Bain. I don't think it did her
Something different.
any service at all. I think that they absolutely need to have her beat Tony Storm.
My dad's Tony Storm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sells used
that's just a
cars.
little.
Anthony Stormington.
It's a little preview of
It's a Christian name.
little preview of Dynasty next weekend. But yeah, I think we're in our WrestleMania phase here. I think we've done some talkies tonight to make up for the last week of not doing talkies. Anybody have anything particularly pressing that they would like to bring to the floor?
Dickheads.
Wow, it's not often.
What's
It's not often that everybody's quiet.
I'm gonna
what's
have diarrhea,
Vincent
it's fine.
McMahon doing in the Impact Zone?
All right. Well, we're getting offers in our email to increase our audience.
Penis size?
So
No?
thanks,
Something different?
Do it.
thanks, Brett Sklar, but we're gonna pass, buddy.
Come on,
Uh,
Sklar, make us a more lucrative offer.
Who?
But yeah,
You gotta wear a cowboy hat if you want my interest.
I don't know. One of these fucking content creators that are like the same ones that drop into your stream and are like, "Hey, would you like a professional intro done?"
No.
Like, "Hey, I can get you cheap viewers." Like, "No, man, I'm good.
Well,
Thanks for botting me up, though."
Your mom's gonna watch. Oh, woo.
Apparently, bots have moved on to emailing people now. So
Of course. I get so many fucking spam bot things over fucking Instagram and Facebook. It's not even funny. I had one on the Twitch side of the stream earlier this evening. Like YouTube's the only YouTube's the only place I haven't gotten that yet, but that's just because I'm not monetized there, so that's probably why. Give it another couple hundred YouTube subscribers and the fucking bots will come flying.
YouTube's kind of like the Wild West of fucking live right now. Weird. All right. Well, I think I'm happy, boys. If you're happy, we can put this puppy to bed. And
no stump the chumps, nothing.
I mean, we got one from Pat. If you want to do it, it's from Mark.
Yeah,
it's from,
dude. Listen.
All right.
It's. I mean, I know that we're only at like just under an hour and a half right now, but like it feels weird not doing a stump the chumps if we have one.
We were concise tonight there, hombre.
That's
Yeah.
I'm not
okay,
used
all
to
right.
this.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm up for doing it.
it's appreciable. All right. Well, let's ruin his day. At certain points, the Elimination Chamber has been held for the Tag Team Championship. Who were the first 6 teams to compete in the Chamber for the titles? At this point, the titles were split into the World and WWE Tag titles. I am not being specific as to which, just the very first Elimination Chamber for either tag title.
Name every competitor in the Brawl for All brackets.
I mean, we did it once.
So I will say, I think it's only happened once. I think that they've only done the tag team titles in the chamber once.
You better not.
Think it was in the new style cage, so it's been fairly recent. I think that
Jeez.
what were their names? The Lucha people, Kalisto and
Lucha House Party or the Lucha Dragons.
Oh,
Lucha
God.
Dragon.
Either way.
I think the Lucha Dragons
Oh, my chest.
were in that match because I remember I think it was Kalisto climbing at the top of the cage and then releasing into like a shooting star press.
That sounds familiar.
I
So
think it'd be safe to say that we throw the New Day in there.
Yeah. I want to say that this was a match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Whatever they were at that point, I think that would have been the WWE Tag Team titles. We don't need that information apparently. I'm pretty sure it was SmackDown. So I think New Day being a part of that would make sense. Maybe the Bar, or the the Bar may have been on Raw. Fuck.
Hey, what? Well, can we try and determine a year for this? Because I think that'll give us a little bit more of a like.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yep.
Would it have been whenever they made the women's tag team titles, the inaugural ones? Because he didn't specify if it was men or women's tag titles.
Yeah, but I think that came after
Okay.
the men's.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like the first time. No, not the first time, but like that main evented when they had theirs,
Yeah.
because it was like a big deal that it was like a women's tag team title,
It wasn't
Right.
the main
elimination
event.
chamber or whatever. So it
it-
main evented the pay per view.
It wasn't the. I don't think it was the main event. I think that was.
The last match on the card.
No.
It may have been. I think it may have been because it was the first. I don't think it's when they were like initially made, but I think it was like the first defense. I don't recall, to be honest with you. But like I remember what Ransom was saying. I feel like it may have been, but it's we're in the weeds. Pull it back. I think that this would have happened. So this would have happened before Kalisto's singles run, because this would have happened whenever they were still the Lucha Dragons.
Yes, that very memorable run.
So I think, oh boy, I think Kalisto and Ryback had a match at WrestleMania 32 on the Dark show, the pre-show, for the U.S. title, if I'm not mistaken. So, I believe that. Oh, that may have been not. I don't remember the exact. I think it was 32. I think I'm gonna stand pat say I think it was 32.
So wait, what year? What year would that have been? Was that like 15 or 16, something like that?
16.
Okay.
So it probably would have been somewhere adjacent, maybe right before that, because I think that's right whenever Kalisto was kind of breaking out. So probably, if I had to hazard a guess, Poot, I'd say 2014, maybe 2015.
Okay. Yeehaw.
So I think, like I said, the Lucha Brothers I can say for sure.
Yep. What? Lucha Dragons.
Good bet. That's what I said. Yep.
Nope.
I know what I said, but I know what
Nope.
I meant.
Something different.
I know. Lucha
Something
Dragon.
different. Oh, something vastly different. All right. So
Yes.
Lucha Dragons. Yeah, I could see them.
I'm betting either New Day or Usos or both. Especially since it was SmackDown, I would say probably Usos for sure. Maybe New Day.
I'd almost venture, I guess, say New Day. If it's around that time, if we're saying like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Here's one. How about the Ascension?
Mm-hmm.
Because that
Absolutely.
Because that was around that time. Like that was right after the that was like right a couple years right after like the WWE Network and stuff like that. And
Yep.
yeah, they had made their way up to the roster to unfortunately fizzle out and eventually be paired with Stardust, and yeah, it's just I don't want to talk
What
about
about
I got a name.
were the primetime players bopping around at that time?
Yep. I think so. Around that time, yes.
Maybe, but I don't think that they would have been this. I don't think that they were in this match. I'll say that. I can't say for certain. Another name I was thinking though was Vaudevillains. I don't know if they if they did too much on the main roster.
No, they wouldn't have been there yet. They would have been I think at that point they were still down at NXT. They hadn't come up to the roster yet. They came up to the roster after the Ascension was kind of gone-ish.
Already flaming out. Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember them kind of being in a angle with the New Day for a while, and this whole fucking time machine skit or whatever, and I know it was after the Ascension was gone. What about
What year do we say this was?
Either like 14, 15, maybe 16.
Oh, okay.
it's split
And who do you have on the list so far?
New Day?
For sure, the Lucha Dragons, probably New Day, more than likely Usos. I think that those are, not locks, but I think that they're pretty sure bets.
Were the Usos still bopping around in NXT at that time?
No, they were very solidly on Raw and or SmackDown.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Wait, hold on.
I don't think the Usos were in it.
I don't,
Because this would have been for the WWE Tag Team Championships, right?
Right, which was on SmackDown, yes. I believe. If I'm remembering correctly, I think that the Lucha Dragons were a SmackDown bit.
Oh. I know somebody else who would have been involved around this time. Primo and Epico. What was their thing? The
Alones, yeah.
No. But what was their team whenever they had the little mini person with them?
Los Matadores.
Yes.
Los Matadores.
Los Matadores.
They were a Raw act though. Like them and the primetime players are both Raw acts. I feel like.
But still,
Didn't they do some pay-per-views where they had SmackDown and Raw?
yes.
Yes, absolutely. But why would they have Raw teams competing for SmackDown tag team titles?
To shake it up. I don't know. Like it. I'm just saying.
I mean, maybe. I just feel like I don't know. I can't say with any kind of like official. The only thing I know for sure is that the Lucha Dragons were in the match. Outside of that, I think anything else is pure speculation. The Bar could have been there.
The Bar.
No,
this would have been before the Bar. That's. Oh. Hang on, not the Bar. This was before he got injured and put on the shelf for good. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro.
Oh, maybe. Right, but didn't they had the coin belts? And Pat said that this was when the titles were divided.
Wait.
At this point, so I'll read the question again. At certain points, the Elimination Chamber has been held for the Tag Team Championship. Who were the first 6 teams to compete in the Chamber for the titles? At this point, the titles were split into the World and WWE Tag titles. I'm not being specific as to which, just the very first EC for either tag team title.
So, all right. So this is. I will say this. This was the only tag team elimination chamber match on this particular elimination chamber card. Like they did not have both on the same show.
No.
Okay.
And I don't think that I think they've had one men's tag team elimination chamber match, and this was it.
I don't know about that. But no, but if this was like 2015, this would have been like Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. This would have been before the bar, because the bar didn't come along until like
right, but they held the titles when they were unified.
But they could have held them before they were unified, or even if they
this was after.
Okay, well even if they held them, are you saying Tyson Kidd and Cesaro held them after they were unified, or the bar did?
No, so the Tyson Kidd and Cesaro held them when they looked like the pennies. They held the penny titles. I think that Kidd getting hurt is what kind of ended their run. So I don't think that Cesaro and Kidd existed after those penny titles. Once they divided the titles, I think that that's whenever Kidd and Cesaro stopped being a thing, and Cesaro started being his own singles act before he got into the business with Sheamus. I don't disagree that it's probably too soon for the bar. I think that this. Absolutely, this is like prime Cesaro like singles territory.
I didn't think that the penny titles were went back that far to like 2014, 2015 from what I can remember. Okay, I mean, but I am around that time. That's around that time is it's
because
definitely...
the Usos were on the pre-show of WrestleMania 32 with Kalisto. The Usos defended the Raw tag team titles. They faced off against the Dudleys, so that may not have been a tag team title match.
What I'm saying is, though, at this time, if we're just gonna say, for lack of better terms, if we're just gonna say it's 2015, because you said somewhere it could be 14, 15, or 16, right? So let's just split it down the middle and call it 15. 2015.
I don't think that's an accurate way to do averages, but go on.
2015.
What are we trying to decide here? What's the point of this conversation or argument?
What were the six teams involved?
I'm telling you this.
Right, but what are you and Tom arguing about right now?
I'm saying that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro were definitely a team at this point. Like, this was before Tyson Kidd would have gotten hurt, and yes, Tyson Kidd getting hurt, I will agree with Beef, like led to eventually.
No, man, Cesaro won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30, which was after Tyson Kidd Cesaro.
What year was WrestleMania 30?
2013. Which would have predated this by a good 2 years. So, no, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd were not a team at this point.
Okay.
No, wait. So are you saying that he won the Memorial Battle Royal after they were a team?
Yes.
And they had, what belts did they hold?
The penny belts. They were the combined belts at that point, but they were the belts that had the little face on that looked like pennies because they were copper.
Riddle me this: when did Samoa Joe get to WWE? Because he's
all right. Hang on, no. Before that, this event was before the round bronze belts. Because the round bronze belts were the Raw Tag Team Championships and the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
No, that was before they broke up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't keep track of all these championships.
All right, so I'll give you a quick rundown. I'll give you a quick rundown. They were the square belts for the longest time, right? Then when the brand split happened, it became the belts that we have. And then, like, the SmackDown belts that resembled the old square belts. Then they came together again, and they made the little black belts with the copper pennies on them.
Oh,
then they broke those.
Right.
Then they broke those copper pennies into two silver into the nickel belts. One on SmackDown, one on Raw, with red and blue titles.
Okay, all right.
And
Okay, I'm caught up.
Into where we are now.
All right.
This would have been during the silver. This would have been during the silver and nickel plated belts. The Raw and Cesaro and Kidd had the copper penny belts, which would have predated Cesaro's single run, which was during the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which was at WrestleMania 30, which was in 2013. Ergo,
oh, excuse me.
I don't think that they would have been involved in this match.
This, I think this was kind of one of those wacky matches.
Yes.
Where, like, they needed a team. And well, Cesaro and Kid have been a team before, so let's just toss them together. Like, I don't think after this or before this they were doing their tag team run, but I think like for this match, it could have been a possibility that they were like, well, we got
Even
other
like
teams and other
3 years,
matches. Like we gotta
even like
toss
3
them.
years after the fact, because like
you
this isn't
stupid tripping.
this isn't like something that happened like right next door to it. Like Tyson
Next door.
Kidd and Tyson Kidd and
My
Cesaro
neighbors.
would have been probably 2010, 2011. And this would have been again 15,
No.
14,
What?
15, 16.
No, dude, listen. Cesaro. Okay.
I'm googling it.
What?
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. Well, then
Uh,
now you're disqualifying yourself. So
No, because it's not going to show me any. It's not going to say if they were in the fucking elimination chamber. And Cesaro.
listen, dude. When Cesaro was part of
I didn't
NXT,
even know Cesaro and Tyson Kidd were a team.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
stand
How
okay.
forgettable they are.
Okay, I stand corrected. They were champions in 2015. So they absolutely could have been part of this match. Whether they were or not, I don't know. And God's honest truth, I didn't see any results.
What I'm trying to get the point at is that Cesaro in 2015 would have just been getting up to the main roster, because when NXT and like when the WWE network launched and NXT was kind of like just coming into things being real big, like Cesaro was part of that like initial NXT WWE network push around like 13, 14 or whatever. So he would have just been getting up to the main roster on 14, 15 and doing the stuff with Tyson Kidd that he did then. That's what I was trying to get at. I was like, okay, well, when did Samoa Joe get to WWE? Because obviously we could backtrack a little bit there and know, like, where Tyson Kidd was at that point or anything like that. Like,
So going off Cheats McGinski's info that they were tag team champions in 2015, my vote says they were in this match.
yeah,
Easy.
I don't remember them being there. I'm not saying that they weren't. I just don't remember them.
I don't remember myself being many places.
Fair.
Beef,
More of
you
argument towards my deteriorating memory.
know how you tell us to, thank you for walking me
Okay.
off the ledge.
Okay.
I'm almost positive with this one that they would have been in
Okay.
this match.
Then
All right,
then
so-
I will gladly accept that as the perhaps third team.
Rattle me off what we got so far.
Potentially New Day. According to you, definitely not the Usos.
Oh.
Cesaro, Kid, and Lucha Dragons for sure.
I'm going to say
And
definitely
how many teams total? 6 teams?
6 teams,
Yeah,
and we
we got-
have 3. And I'm going to say
Potentially three.
definitely.
Maybe.
I'm going to say definitely New Day, because I'm almost positive they were the ones that won this match.
I
And
believe
during
it.
that time, they were one of the big players.
Absolutely.
That was one of the ones that we read off already.
Right. The Ascension
Okay.
was another one that could have been in that match.
Around this time, based off the tag teams that were around
I'd say
and, what was-
yeah, probably.
and everything that was going on in NXT and main roster, like, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good bet that they and the Lucha Dragons are probably both in this match to try and showcase their talent, because again they were just kind of fresh from
From NXT.
the right. So
So-
I would say that's probably like the end of the NXT like new teams though. Like I think that those 2 teams being in will probably now the rest would all be veterans.
Veteran.
So New Day, absolutely. I think you're right on that. I remember whoever won, I was very nonplussed by, and that absolutely would have been the New Day at this point.
Yeah.
So like them and so I think we could say definitely the Lucha Dragons, New Day, very likely the Ascension, and very likely Cesaro. Well, as is being pushed by everyone, it was Cesaro and Kid. And again,
where did
I'll
mother of
Yeah.
all farmers who have ever farmed. Where did we land on the colognes as the Matadors.
I think they were there at this time.
Maybe. It would make sense. It's a big, stupid, get your spots in match, so...
And like at this point too, I'd hedge a bet on the primetime players being involved.
Dude, what during this match, if they were involved in an elimination chamber match, and I thought I remembered little El Torito doing something like off the top of the pod or something like that. I can almost visualize it.
Oh, I think
I'm sure
right.
he did something ridiculous off of it for sure.
Yep, I think you're right. So I will definitely put, unless there was a second tag title match in Elimination Chamber, but I remember the first one being kind of a cluster and
Sure.
kind of going, well, that
Makes
didn't
sense.
really work with 18 people in here, so they're probably not going to be going back to the swell again anytime soon.
Oh.
The only thing I don't remember is how the eliminations would have worked. Like, if one person from the team got eliminated, is that team eliminated then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. But I think you're right. I think El Torito did do something. But I just man, the Matadors were a Raw team, right? That's what's.
I think this was
Really
like
fucking
3
me up.
from Raw, 3 from SmackDown.
It could be. That actually could well be.
Because then it's like, oh, anything could happen. Maybe a Raw team could win the SmackDown titles. Oh my god!
I mean, listen, the fact that Poot said primetime players and that Ransom kind of echoed that, I'm fine with, and I'm over this question. I hate it so much because it's such a good question.
Goodness.
Making
Oh,
moves.
It's a great question, and that's why I hate it, because I feel like we're being got. And if we get this, it's by the grace of fucking God. So again, just to make sure that we're all kind of in agreement here, we're saying New Day
Yes.
likely went in as champions and went out as champions.
Oh yeah.
Regardless, they were in it. I think they were in
Okay.
it, and I think they won. I don't remember if they went in as champions or not. But
And we don't need to really specify that. But New Day, Lucha Dragons,
mhm.
Ascension.
Yes.
I didn't say that direction at all.
Huh? Oh.
No.
Primetime players,
Aura.
Cesaro and Kid,
Uh-huh.
I heard that tone.
and shut up. And Matadors.
Yes.
I heard the tone. I heard
Poot?
Cesaro and Kid.
I'm good with it.
All right, we're
Texas
gonna run it.
Pete is
we're gonna
all
run it.
in.
All right, it was nice to hear a podcast this week. It's really made my day. And yes, I'm being sincere. Oh, thanks, Pat. First teams were, oh my God, the New Day, primetime players, Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, the Ascension, Lucha Dragons, Los Matadors. Holy fuck. I'm proud of you guys.
Pat, good fucking try, buddy.
I'm proud of you guys for walking me off the edge, because that was a very hard line. Like, no Tyson Kidd, no Cesaro,
Past Texas
Beef.
Red.
no primetime players, and
After Texas Red. If history has taught you anything, it's that when you are stuck on something and you're digging your heels in, how many times have you been wrong on that?
yeah, all the time, every single of the fucking times. I get it, Poot. Damn it.
Stop. No. Every single of the fucking time.
Yep.
Oh yeah, well I knew without a fucking beyond shadow of a doubt that it was the fucking Lucha Dragons in that match, so everybody else can suck it. Pat, I've just invited everybody else to suck it. You also can suck it.
Find it.
Pat, I've invited everyone else to suck it. Oh, ba-doom.
The event did happen. The event did happen. Fucking begrudgingly in 2015.
Oh!
So Tom's fucking cut it down the middle strategy fucking worked.
Listen,
Damn
man,
it.
It's just about fucking, I don't know, playing your fucking hedging your bets. I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
Trim in your hedge.
Yeah.
Trimming your hedges.
I'll take
yeah,
it.
why not?
It feels like a loss to the old Beefman, but we
Oh,
won,
no.
so
Salt Beefman.
together everyone achieves more. So I'm happy we won, and I'm happy Pat lost. But
By our powers combined.
Still feels like a loss to me. Anyway, Pat, all of this is to say is that you brought a really great question to the point that I loathed it because it was such a good question.
Jeez.
What you weren't counting on, however, is our collective knowledge being Captain Planet.
I'm Captain Planet, bitch. I'll turn you into a tree.
We'll turn you into a fucking tree.
Fire,
Hate and
wind,
wrath.
water, the ascension.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Stardust.
Nope. Off the rails. Bring him back in. Pet, you lose, sir.
Echoes.
Well, how has nobody clipped the John Cena "you get nothing" yet? Somebody get on that. Somebody clip that shit. Like, the minute that John Cena came out and was like, "You get nothing," I was like, he said the thing! Somebody's gonna clip that! And no one's clipped it yet.
Why don't
So,
you clip it?
Yeah, you clip
I
it.
don't know technology.
YouTube it. You can figure it out. You know how to stream at least. You can figure out
Yeah,
audio
you know how to Google, so I know you can figure it out.
Fucking chat, clip that. Anyways, Pat, you lose. You get nothing. Shut up. Happy birthday.
Wrap this up. I gotta poop.
It's poop time for ransom, partner. Adios.
Perfect.